All right. Here we are down at the Warlock Drum building facility in downtown Jersey City. One of my good friends, a longtime friend, Joe Dwyer. What's happening, bro? Come over here. Don't let me hang. I already wrecking the place.
That's all right.
So tell us, Joe, what are you going to do today?
Today we're going to be applying a dark walnut stain on some rock maple shells. Right in front of me right now I have a snare drum that's 6.5 by 13. We're going to apply a few coats of stain to each shell, and that'll be followed up by some lacquer and sanding, and then a final coat of satin finish.
Good going. Now just let it roll.
Okay. Let it roll?
Yeah, let it roll, baby.
All right. So here we have a little pad we set up with some cotton cloth. We're going to charge it a little bit. Right now we already have some in there. We're going to wet it up a little bit more. Dip it in our stain. You can see it's nice and wet. Blot it a little bit. And what we're going to do is start to apply our stain onto the drum in the direction of the grain. Now we're going to apply one coat first. Keep the stain nice and even. This way we don't have any blotches. What we'll do is we'll just keep rubbing it back and forth until we have continuity. And one thing about these maple shells is that they have a very nice grain pattern. So the last thing we want to do is cover the grain with excess stain. So we'll put it on lightly at first, and then if we need to go back, we'll go back and give it a second, possibly a third coat. We'll see. In this particular case, the client preferred to have the shells a little bit lighter than he wanted the bass drum hoops. So that's why we're going to put it on nice and light and even strokes. Now as I do this, you can see the grain start to pop in the wood. This is a very nice grain wood. Rock maple stains very, very nicely. And it's like an industry standard for drum shells. Maple have a nice attack. They also project, have a lot of volume, and they stain up very nicely. We just want to keep our pad moving. We don't want to gather too much stain. And by the way, the stain I'm using right now is a water-based stain, a water-based dye actually, and it's very forgiving. So if this were alcohol or lacquer, it would dry extremely quickly, and it's a good possibility of winding up with streaks or blotches that you don't want, because that would require you taking your drum and sanding it all out again. So it goes rather quickly, as you can see. Our first coat is actually done on a snare drum, and if you can take a look at that, you can see the nice grain popping out of the wood. This is a very long process. This is the first of 4 or 5 different steps we're going to have to go through to get this drum to completion. But as you can see, there we go. That's our first coat for our snare drum.